summer as the kids have gotten into more things, and it just seems like July is about the busiest month on a pig farm anymore, with still fair on some sows, breeding sows, and all that other stuff going on. We decided we're going to skip all the consignment sales here in July. Those have been awfully good to us in the past, and we plan on those being a big part of things going forward. As we get into August, certainly have plans of making some of those sales in Texas that have been so good to us in the past. But with the schedule and everything going on here in July, we're going to sell our entire May crop, and the very front end of those early Junes. We're going to sell those male pigs. Will all be in this particular sale. So, as I alluded to, those sales have been awesome. We love them, and but if you want a May or early June pig from Hilty Showpigs, this particular live sale on a Tuesday night is going to be your opportunity to get one of those. I think some of our very best sows are represented in this group, and we reached out and used the boars that we thought complemented them the best. And it's kind of cliche that people say, this is the best set ever or deepest group ever, but I truly do believe that we called these things down hard, and we're right around that 60 number for this particular sale. And again, some of our very best sows are represented. I think there's a little something for everybody in here, whether you need a Phoenix barrow or you need a barrow that could wind up at one of those shows in the spring. I think there's a wide variety of endpoints here, and without a doubt, I think there's certainly some very high-end boar prospects, as we've done over the last couple seasons, couple years here, and several seasons, I guess now. We've got Jim McCoy here with us again today, and pumped up to get Jim's thoughts on this set of pigs. If you've got any questions at all, or we can be of any assistance, myself, Grant, Jim, reach out. Again, it's a live sale on Kennedy Venture CCI on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We'd love to see you here at the farm to see the pigs in person. If that doesn't work out, reach out to one of us with any questions you might have.
Well, it's good to be back here in Pennsylvania with Will and the whole crew, and always thoroughly enjoy it. And it's always exciting to see what he's put together and the new matings that are coming out, and some of the young boars he's put back through on some of the proven sows that he's got. This truly has become a business that never sleeps. And everybody says, well, what's it? You're gonna have a little downtime now. No, there is no downtime anymore. It's where it's piled on top of each other. But you know what? This family never sleeps in this business. I mean, they're continuously working hard to make them better every time. And I think they've done it again this time. Looking through the set of pigs and loving some of the matings they're put together. We've got a really good set. They're all males and all crosses, and traditionally always a bunch of the good belted ones and dark crosses. But look in on some of these light crosses. There's a very, very good set of those, and a very high-end quality that, again, I think can really do some damage there in the show season right on through the spring. Multiple sizes, as Will had mentioned, it can show early. Several of them are going to be able to show late, and I really don't know where the end point is on some of them, because you're going to be able to stretch some of these June pigs right on down about as far as you want to go for a show that's scheduled. Quality is extremely high. A lot of different pedigrees represented, boar prospects. Again, if we can be of any assistance to help you out at all, don't hesitate to ask.
8-1 here, wider belted pig, and pedigree on these is Draw the Line, back on a really good pace car sow, and these 8s were our first summer litter there, and they've got some size on them. Pigs that look like have potential to sure make some of those earlier shows, and still represent a lot of quality. There's 3 litter mates in the ring here at one time, and I've told people that have been through and look. I think 8-1 is the slickest looking one in terms of just head and neck and presence. Incredibly good kind of hip and hind leg and function. Still moderate in terms of his length of body. Looks like a great kind of heavyweight someday. And as we've fired up and started breeding sows again, draw the line is one that we really like what we see in these pigs, not only early, but they look like the right kind to feed and be the right ones in the end. So we're continuing to use him and pumped up what we see here in our first couple litters.
Yeah, again, if you like him good looking out of the front end and making an impression coming out of the gate, that's a pig that you need to consider. Again, very slick jawline, good looking up through his front end, very unique out of his head carriage and jawline. A very extremely tall fronted. I mean, he props him up there and really gives you a nice kind of a look with a square chest floor and a square knee coming at you. He profiles extremely good with that slick front end. He's very boxy and shortening his length of the body with good kind of reach off his hind leg. Indicators, again, even though he is a slicker made one, still has dimension of skull. He's got a tail root that again matches that type of build, and he's not void of muscle by any means. He's really good in his squareness at the top and starting to build a ditch down his center. Very good as far as stifle shape goes and maintains the squareness and doesn't get off in the weeds on either side. Everything squares up. Very good. Looks like just a solid, good feeder that you could probably make that one look pretty special in the end. That one's 8-1.
8-3, draw the line, pace car sow that's done an awesome job, and we really like what we see out of these draw the line pigs. And I spoke about 3 litter mates being in here, and I think you can make the case that one of them's the best looking, one's the stoutest. I think 8-3 is the combination of the good looking and stout one into one package. Build, flexibility, still got a really good look. Just a hog that these pigs are out of that kind of cute little pig stage. That looks like an awesome feeding pig to me that has the ability to get to one of these earlier shows. I know it's early in the buying season, but I think that pig's got a lot of versatility and just simply looks like the right kind to me.
Balance, eye appeal, proportions, everything fits in him. Again, he's a no excuses kind of a hog, and again, that goes a long way. And it's those kind that are built like that, have that kind of look, are kind of timeless in their build, regardless of which direction we're taking off to in the industry. He's the one that can kind of fit a lot of things. And again, you can adjust that a lot with the bucket weekly on what you do when they're correct like that. You can readjust what you're doing and what direction you're going to push or pull. That one's length of front and his jawline's really good. Again, everything balances. It fits from the side. Tall-shouldered, level design, boxier length of body, levelness of hip and reach of hind legs, extremely good. Again, just a no-nonsense, no frills kind of a hog where everything fits like it needs to. Again, those don't get you in the ditches at all. They just maintain that squareness, and again, just build them with the bucket. A lot of neat pieces about that one there with no deficiencies to have to even visit about. That one's 8-3.
8-5, the final 8-litter pig here. Again, there, draw the line, pace car. South's done an awesome job for us, and I discussed the differences in the 3 litter mates that are out here together. 8-5's the stoutest featured one. He's got the biggest arm, the biggest rear leg. He's probably maybe just the densest haired one, and still got a good look and build to him. I like the trio of 8-litter pigs really, really well, and again, I think that as you discuss the differences, I think for sure that this 8-5 is just the stoutest, burliest one of the 3.
Yeah, again, real consistent. Neat seeing 3 mates out there that all represent a high level of quality. And again, you get subtle differences. Those hogs a lot of times will kind of feed back to the middle of the litter, and if that's the case, you're going to be in pretty good shape regardless of which one you want to get because they're all solid, good hogs. Again, extra stout kind of a jawline working in, heavy structured, good footed kind of a hog that's true and square coming and going. Really good as far as his pliability of rib and center body, and he's not too long bodied. Everything still fits and balances. Indicators are real stout. Looks like a really good kind of a feeder. Just let him collect himself and go ahead and grow and develop the direction you want to take him. You can do a lot of things, again, very creatively with the feed bucket when they're correct like that, and everything fits and balances, and nothing you have to really grant as far as any kind of a problem anywhere. Those are really fun to feed. A whole lot more fun to go out that show barn every day when they're solid individuals that are sound on their feet and legs. That one there is 8-5.
10-3 here, pedigree, relentless driving force. Mom would be the Green Gilt from Ohio that Mox bred that we purchased there at the State Fair last year, and took just a minute to get her going. But man, we're happy to be working with her going forward. Like these 10 litter pigs quite a bit, and man, the littermate sisters that we're going to go ahead and keep. We keep most of our gilts this time of year. They're some of the very best gilts in the finishing barn. So I think depth of litter, in my opinion, usually equates to hogs that are going to feed and do the right things. This one of the 10 litter males is the bulkiest at this stage of the game. Tremendous shape to his cage and mid body. Still got a very unique look and presence to him, and then just very good in terms of hip and hind leg. I think this is another pig that's going to need to be managed in terms of the feed bucket and the way you roll this thing along. But man, he likes to eat feed and consume feed. I think all of us have fought that at one time or another. If they won't eat and consume feed, it doesn't matter how good of a feeder you are. So I think there's a lot of good in this pig. Just needs to fall into the right kind of scenario.
Yeah, he's built a little different, than the other pig we got in here, and that's fine. This relentless thing, just from what I've been told on the guys that have raised some of them and fed them on. Those greener appearing ones out of their front end are the ones that go ahead and develop into the ones you like to finish with the best. They just continually get stouter and bolder as they go. That one's extension up front. His length in front of his blade is extremely good, with a really unique, exotic kind of look out of his front end. Again, it cranks his head above his spine very comfortably, levels out in his spine extremely good. And the fact that he's neat looking up front and it has that big pliable belly in the center, I think, is a big plus. And as Will said, if you doesn't make a difference what goodies you got on the shelf. If you can't get them to consume them, you're not going to get anything built with it. So you got to have something that's going to eat, and he sure looks like he's going to do that in a good kind of a way. Flexes that hind leg back the way he needs to. Angles good out of his shoulder. Really good individual that, again, he may not be the top one on your list, but he's sure one not to bypass. That's a very, very neat kind of a pig. That's 10-3.
10-4 would be the Hampshire marked one here. His pedigree would be relentless driving force. His mom would actually be the Green Gilt at Ohio last year that Mox had raised, and we bought through that sale. And been just a little struggle getting her going, but we got her going here this summer, and really like this 10-litter pigs. This pig, to be 100% transparent, was just a little off yesterday, and maybe isn't just as filled up and full looking as he normally is. But I think a very unique pig in terms of proportionality. His stoutness of skull, his shortness in terms of his midsection of his body, and then if you're into bone and hair, I think this thing's just going to be as stout and hairy as anything we've got. I think again, very unique in terms of proportionality. Comes with extras in terms of feature, stoutness, and hair.
Yeah, he's the most unique pig we've looked at to this point early in the preview, and he's just a little different, in a very good kind of a way. A great big set of bones. That one is extremely heavy structured, plants a really big kind of a paw, but stays up on his pasterns really well. And then watch him, he knows what to do with these joints. He's able to take a bold kind of a step coming at you. He can leave us the same way and reach behind his tail head. Again, he's a greener pattern kind of a hog as far as muscle goes here, but that kind of skull shape and noggin and the extra heaviness of structure, tail root, all that tells you all that's going to bulk up in a big time way when it needs to. Obviously this time of year we talk about a lot of classification hogs, and he surely would class Hampshire if that's which way you choose to go, or any one of the crossbred divisions, the way they do it down south. He'll fit a lot of different bills, but that one there again just looks like one again you can get home and start right in on him with whatever your feeding program is, and get pretty creative and really build that one and go, and a lot of upside where that one finishes up. That one is 10-4.
11-1 here. The white-tailed one would be a mainline. Quite frankly, his mom would be the 20-2. Quite frankly, Sal, that has done a good job in her first couple litters, and this pig's got that mainline look and head and front end presence to him, and I think for one that's got that kind of presence up front, boy, he's really moderate in terms of his length and proportions from there back. He's a hog that's got the right kind of length to his hip and bend to his rear leg. Greener, I would call him, in terms of just muscle and punch at this stage of the game, but one that I think is just so uniquely built that looks like you pour the coals to him someday, and you could be really happy with what you've got there.
Yeah, get another one, just a feeder's dream. If you like to be able to push on one and see what they're made of, he sure looks like he's got the stuff to accomplish that. Looks like one that could be really good, be good early, but be patient on into the end and let that one get to be a heavyweight, and I think he's not going to disappoint you. Man, he almost runs uphill. He's really elevated with a long set of cannons, extremely extended up front with a very exotic kind of a look up through his front end, cranks his head above his spine really comfortably, short-bodied in the middle, extremely good length of hip and reach of hind leg. He's got the aesthetics of fuzz and hair that you'd want to look at. He's got the feet ability to go ahead and push and go and really kind of build that one as you go. Those are fun to feed on, and a very, very good, intriguing kind of a pig that I think will be heard from in the end. That's 11-1.
Blue Pig here would be 12-2. He is a mojo to the extreme. Sow that's been around for a minute, but sure has earned her keep, and we're pumped about this mojo thing, not because we raised him, but man, I think these pigs are good, and I think this pig exemplifies what mojo can do in terms of just a stout skull and feature, yet just so comfortable in terms of shoulder set and angulation. He's a pig that's really moderate in terms of his length of body, yet flexes and goes out of his hip and rear leg. We're using Mojo as hard as any boar going forward because we've got faith in the sow he's out of, and man, the pigs and what we see here early is we're pumped up about it. I think this pig, regardless of color, exemplifies quality, coupled with the fact that he's a blue and all the opportunities for light cross divisions right now. I think we've got a dang nice set of blues for this particular sale, and I think this one fits right up there with the front end of them.
Yeah, it's a neat blue-headed dog there that, again, he's ready. I mean, that one's he's not mature and he's not done. He looks like he's got lots of feedability, but he's ready. He's skull shape, and his shape at top and the way he comes with muscle out of the top of his blade and blends right on back into a bold kind of a top and a good kind of a ham-loin junction. And then look at his stifle. You can see stifle popping in him, and the width of going directly away is in check, exactly where it needs to be. His running gear is extremely good. Length of front, length of stride, boxiness of length of body, length of hip, very, very good. And then watch him go directly away. That may be the most impressive shot going directly away. It's that boldness at top with turn of body, and then that squareness of muscle, big tail root, a great big athletic kind of a hind leg. Again, a great light cross there that should fit very well in the upper end of that light cross division of his, and have the kind of quality that can kind of compete in an overall situation. That one is 12-2.
13-1 here. The blue would be Mojo Pace Car. His mom would be the 11-6 Pace Car Sal. That man, her pigs just continue to show up. They'll usually start out a little greener, but man, they get stout and usually get good. This pig at this stage of the game is probably the bloomiest, fleshiest 13. He's got unreal shape working down his top and out through his hip and stifle, yet his squareness to his hock, and I'd almost say you could make the argument that his hock sits in him just a little bit right now, and certainly I don't think a bad thing at this stage of the game, but I like this one quite a bit. I like his mom. I like the way the pigs have fed out of that particular sow, and I've got a lot of faith in this pedigree, and this pig sure suits me at this stage of the game.
Yeah, good pig. Whether he's an online sale, a live sale, or a public sale, he's ready for the public to view, and and that's a good thing. I mean, he's got all the stuff as far as the type of maturity and the look out of his front end, but then he's got some bulk to him. It's easily seen. He comes with muscle out top of his blade really quick with really good sharp turn loin edge, and he comes down into a big kind of rib and body. And he's a great explosive hip kind of a hog that's got abundance of muscle, but still very much in check. And as Will said, maybe is a set in his hock just a hair, and I think that's a very positive thing. Those days 8-10 years ago where you go to a hog show and judge it, and it's just bow-legged all over the place. We don't see much of that anymore, and I'm thankful for that, because that just turns you off immediately. See a good hog come out of the gate and they can't go. This one's got the stuff and he can go. Looks like a real feedable kind of a pig that a lot of guesswork's out of him. He's big enough now with the advancement of muscle and shape and bulk to where kind of what you got, and then just go and feed him accordingly and let him tell you weekly which direction he needs to go. A lot of upside what you can get accomplished with one that looks like that. That one is 13-1.
13-3, the other blue pig here in the ring. The bigger one, pedigree is Mojo Pace Car. His mom's the 11-6 pace car sow that's done an awesome job for us. And this pig's a lot like his litter mate in terms of just his look and presence. He's maybe just a notch more advanced in terms of his shape and muscle at this stage of the game. It may be just a little bigger outlined in terms of the kind of pig he's going to be. But I think still one that comes with chest. He comes with squareness. He comes with feature. Just a little different kind of pig than his litter mate, but one that, again, just a no holes, no frills kind of a pig that still has extras.
Yeah, neat color pattern. He's got a real distinct kind of blue look, and a very neat kind of color pattern to gravitate to, and then just a very good pig underneath all that. He's more advanced, as Will said, in his muscle shape and volume, and truthfully more public ready to kind of look at and be appreciated by the masses. He has that same kind of look as the green littermate had, as far as that cocky look out of its front end, the elevation, levelness of design. There's just more hog there today. And again, he still stays very much in check, and it's just a kind of an indicator of what probably the greener littermate is going to go ahead and look like here in a few pounds from now, and just continue on. Extension up front, levelness of design, flexibility of structure with an abundance of muscle in a real safe, square, kind of a pattern that everything fits very, very correctly with a really good kind of a running gear. That one is 13-3.
13-6 is the really neat marked blue pig here. His pedigree would be Mojo Pace Car. His mom would be the 11-6 pace car sow that's done a good job, and man, her pigs continue to feed and surface. We'll see several of these 13s and several of these Mojos, and man, we're pumped with what that boar looks like he's going to do. Their build, their presence, their extra hair and extra feature is very, very good. We've got several blues represented in this sale. I think this one fits right in there with the front end of them.
Yeah, we talk about those light cross divisions that are abundant, of where you can show all those things now in the NJSA shows and several of the jackpot series, and obviously the majors down south. So I mean, represents that particular color pattern, with it should be real competitive in that light cross division. Good looking up front, long fronted, boxy bodied. Again, no nonsense kind of a pig as far as this, problem free, gets out there and motors extremely good, flexes hock behind his tail head really well. He's a neat looking one, but still got stoutness to him. He's got turn of rib and center body. Bold hipped kind of a hog is still real feedable to kind of go ahead and push on him and build even more as you go. 13-6, that blue.
13-8 blue pig Mojo pace car. His mom would be the 11-6 pace car sow, and I think this pig's very unique in terms of proportionality. He's a hog that's really moderate in his length of body, yet reads to be one that's elevated in terms of his stature. It's something that we talk about quite a bit, but I think his height of shoulder is next level good, and I think he does that without sacrificing in terms of his build to his front end, and by that that. I mean, his shoulders still laid back in him. He's got the right kind of angle up front. And I'll tell you that this pig's a little greener and skinnier, but we've watched this sow's pigs over the last 2 crops start out green and skinny, and man, they've got good both times. This spring, we thought her pigs honestly were pretty average because they were green and skinny, and man, they got really, really good. And so I think that the visual appraisal of this pig right now today, and then take into consideration how that sow's pigs have fed here out of the last couple litters, I wouldn't bet against this one.
I like him quite a bit. He's the greenest pattern of that pedigree we've probably viewed here today, but he has all the same stuff as far as that eye appeal. He's got that eye-catching ring presence, coming out of the gate. He's so tall-fronted and really good and cocky out of his front end, and everything blends at top of his blades the way it needs to, and right on back into that eye appeal from the side. You back off of him in that extreme length of front, length of hip, and box you shorter length of body. With the extra elevation off the ground, I mean, it's spot on for the time where we're at on what we're kind of looking for. And he just, again, one of those that just looks like a feeder's dream that you can do so many creative things with, and knowing the power that particular pedigree, the punch that is in that deal. I think it's all there. I like the way those are very fun to buy and watch them just get better every day. And you come out looking pretty smart buying a green one like that. That one is 13-8.
14-3, the narrow-belted pig here would be Rampage Pace Car, one of those 40-litter sows that have done a really good job for us. And good litter pigs. There's several of these 14s represented in the sale, and this one, I think, maybe one of the pounds bigger 14s, but got that same look about his head, skull, and front end. He's a hog that's building tremendous kind of shape down his top already, yet stays square and comfortable out of his hip and rear leg.
Yeah, he's another combination hog with a good look and a lot of density of center. That one there's a bold, very bold ribbed barrel shape working in him already. There's a lot of hog there, and you get that kind of motor put in him with the kind of dimension he's got out of his skull. Should yield to a hog that's going to consume feed and convert it into just more punch and power. He's already doing that now, but still maintains everything very much in check. Just a solid kind of an individual. As you kind of hit the ring there, is going to impress a judge for being a very stout, bold one coming at you that's athletic and able to go. And he's not going to ever be a skinny one. He's really got extremely good kind of turn of center with that pliability. Big square hip kind of hog that maintains the squareness from end to end, propped up on his toes where he needs to be, but still has angle and set and flex to the ground. Really good feeder. That one there has got a lot of creative things you can do in different directions with one that looks like that. And obviously perfect class and Hampshire pig for down the Southwest. Intriguing kind of a barrow that offers a lot of different feeding styles within that one. 14-3.
14-8, narrow-belted pig here. Rampage Pace Car. We really liked some of those Rampage pigs we saw last time around, and went ahead and tied to him and bred some key sows to him. And man, they're very unique in terms of their look and their front end and their skull shape. Yet really loose made in terms of their build and comfort level. I think this pig's got some extras, yet one that's so good in terms of his build and comfort level.
Yeah, good individual here again. Not one of the smallest ones we've viewed, but not one of the biggest ones either. Kind of middle of the pack. Ring presence, eye appeal. He's really cranks his head above his spine. Love his skull shape and look out of his front end. Stout, but still a neat and exotic in his look. Watch him profile. He's tall shoulders, level design, level hipped, and reaches extremely good. I like his bones that match everything down low, that we're matching everything up high. He's a greener pattern hog, but still you can see the indicators he's got for being stouter and going ahead and building on. He's got good turn of his center and really not building a big ditch yet, but you can sure see where it's going to be coming along. A very square hip kind of a hog that's real feedable in his pattern. A lot of upside in that one. Again, don't know if that'll be your short list or not, but that's one that definitely needs to be tended to. Sale time there, not be forgotten about. Very neat kind of a pig. And again, down south, surely ought to class Hampshire if you want to do that, or Dark Cross, what have you. But neat kind of a pig there in 14-8.
1410 is going to be the off-belted pig here. He is a Rampage pace car. We really like what Rampage did on the few sows that we sampled him on. And of the 14 litter, this 1410 is probably one of the greener, skinnier ones in terms of just muscle and flesh at this stage of the game. But I also think you could make the argument that, man, he's one of the slicker looking, better built ones. I like that pig's look and presence out of his front end. He's really long and level about his hip and rump. And as I call him green and skinny, man, you can see it starting to come. He's a hog that's really pulled apart there at his blades, and all his indicators read like he's just going to continue to come and flesh and bulk up as he matures.
Yeah, feedability. Just when they're built correct and they're proportioned right, you can do so many things with them when you get them home and get your own feeder going in their own pen. That one there's good looking up front with a neat kind of a sharp look up front, but still dimension. Proportions really good from the side, and again, just all the basics are covered. All 8 toes head the right direction, propped up on strong pasterns, and still flexes and goes the way they need to. Squares up good in his chest. He's a greener, more immature, and he's muscled down his top and through his hip, but looks like a one that you can really push on and kind of get that feedability to roll on in and continue for a long period of time. Very good kind of a pig in 14-10.
1411 Rampage pace car would be his pedigree. Sampled Rampage on a couple litters, and really like what we ended up with. And I think, as we look at these pigs in the preview pen, one thing that is consistent with these 14s especially is, man, they've got a really unique kind of skull shape and a really stout head to them. Of the 14s, I'd say you could make the argument this is the biggest rib, biggest body, just biggest centered one of those at this stage of the game. Still good in terms of his length of hip and rear leg. Just looks like a pig that sure likes to hit the feeder, and I think you get him sorted off and where you could hand feed him and just manage his intake a little bit. I think that's a pig that, in a few days you could be really happy with. There. One that, again, looks like he can eat, feed, consume, and get after it, if you need one that can make one of those earlier shows.
Three-dimensional kind of a hog that, again, has a very good look. Skull-shaped look up front, boldest pliability of rib, big barrel-shaped rib with a lot of turn of center, and, again, the ability to consume and convert and do what he's supposed to do with it, and that's build more power and go. He's not going to be the little slick, cute one that you're going to go with. He's going to be the bold, stout one that's going to overpower you in the end. And again, it looks like he could be a really good kind of a Southwest barrow with that extra kind of stoutness of skull and rib shape and body and boldness of muscle and a real feedable package. It doesn't look like anything you're going to have to really be real careful with. I mean, manage him obviously and pay attention to him every week, but a good feeder that's no nonsense, sound, solid, but a whole bunch of extras to work with. That is 14-11.
1412 would be the chrome, the belted pig here, and his pedigree would be Rampage back on one of those 40-litter pace car sows that I mentioned there on another litter, and really liked some of the Rampage pigs that we saw last go, and tied to him and bred a couple key sows to him, and really happy with what we got accomplished there. I think this 1412, man, just has a very striking look in terms of his head and neck and front 1/3 of his body, and then from there back, a pig that reads with real muscle and real shape. He's got a ditch working down his top, and he's got flare to his hip and stifle as he leaves you, yet stays in check in terms of squareness to his hock there. I think that's a pig that's very unique in terms of just his proportionality and the way everything fits. I like that one quite a bit. Good litter, but I think that pig sure hits me pretty good as he comes out here in the preview pen today.
Yeah, slick and neat looking coming out of the gate. Very awesome looking as far as jawline length, the front, and then watch him when he cranks his head up and he squares and exposes a really square kind of a chest, elbow, knee, and front foot. Everything is true and exactly where it needs to hit coming at you. And he he goes away from us exactly the same way. He's for the size he is, you're starting to see some muscle build down his top, and that stifle shape is really good, but everything is very much in check where it needs to be. Bones match everything we're looking at up high. Proportions extremely good as when you're watching profile. Length the front, boxy length the body, length the hip. Indicators are to go ahead and grow and continue on into just a bigger, more massive kind of hog, and I don't think you're ever going to have to unload anything on to keep his front end clean. That's a very, very, very good looking kind of a pig that should be a really easy, solid kind of a feeder. That one is 14-12.
15-2, solid white one here would be a Mojo next intention, be another one of Grant's got 2 litters in the sale, and this pig would be out of his other litter there, and solid white. As crazy as it is with his pedigree, he's solid white, and I would anticipate he's going to stay solid white because we've tanned him. They've been out in the sun. He's still solid white. If he was going to blue or speckle up, I think it would have happened already. But anybody that's messed with some of those knows it still can happen. But we've gave it a pretty good test. And this hog looks like he's going to be a great big one to me. He's extended. He's a bigger outline kind of a pig, and it's hard to find solid white ones. Period. Let alone find them with any kind of a quality. And I think again that looks like a good feeding pig that's going to make a really good big one someday.
Yeah, green, green and immature, correct, and has feature. That one. A lot of times when you get them elevated and extended, they don't have enough stoutness to go ahead and make you think they're going to go. But man, look at his skull shape. I mean, that one there, his forehead is broad. He's got an awesome kind of a jawline. He's opened up in his skull cap, and then he's able to get out and go. Cranks his head above his spine. Extremely tall fronted, very level design, really good soundness off of both ends. Nothing deviates. Everything squares up coming at you and leaving us the same way. The type of elevation and extension and the type of length the body's got, and then the type of hog as far as maturity goes. Again, as Will said, a good big one. When that one kind of finishes up gets to the finish line there as a heavyweight, I think everything should come together. That one there just looks like one that you'll like today. You'll like him next week better, and the longer he goes, he'll just continue to mass up. Again, consider that all white thing there too, where you're classing hogs down south, and that Yorkshire thing. He could be a big player in that particular aspect. 15-2.
16-1, the little belted pig here, be Dog Walk, Glory Days. His mom would be Mainline's aunt, and obviously the smallest 16-liter pig on pounds. But we thought this pig was just too unique looking in terms of his look and presence out through his front end, and just the striking look he gives you from the side profile to not go ahead and include him in the sale. His length of hip's good. That looks like a pig that just getting ready to blow. By sale time, we're doing these videos a few days ahead of time here, but by sale time or in 10 days, man, I think that pig just looks like one that if you get him bought and you go on vacation for a week and come home and come back and somebody's taking good care of him, you could be really shocked that it's the same pig. He is a crip. You can see on his right side there, right there in his flank, but that's a pig that I think could do a lot of good things here over the next 10 days, and one that's built for the long haul.
Yeah, he's really exotic looking, out of his front end, that, again, he's very comfortable as far as getting his head above his spine and then leveling out and watch him flex and go. And, neat kind of a splashed color pattern on him, that exotic kind of look up front with the length up front he's got. He's short in the middle of it. He's good in his length of hip and his ability to reach and flex. Again, he's green and just needs time and groceries, and that's all you need. Just take him home and let him develop. I think you'll, again, those type that have that kind of eye appeal this early and are that green, just feed them. And I think you'll be very, very pleased week in and week out as those kind of get better and just continue to mass up, because you got all that neat kind of look to start with. Just let him bulk up over time. 16-5.
16-3 here would be the pig with the white switch on his tail, and his pedigree would be Dog Walk, Glory Days, and that sow would be a litter mate to Mainline's mom there, so she'd be Mainline's aunt, and good litter of pigs here in these 16s. A little greener at this stage of the game, but man, beautiful look, beautiful design, and that South pigs typically kind of start this way, but man, they just continue to bulk and flesh as they mature. I think this is another 16 that just to steal Jim's term, just looks like a good feeder's dream there with his build and look and presence. I think you'll be happy every day you've got that one on feed.
Yeah, I mean, we're early in the preview here, and this is the second of the 16s we've got to evaluate on what order you're going to see them in for sure. But, this one here, consistent with the mate, they're just a very good-looking one that looks like, again, an extremely good kind of feeder that you can do a lot of creative things with the bucket when you get him home and, maintain that kind of look. I mean, he's always going to be good-looking with extension up front, his elevation off the ground, and in response to the length of body that he's got, it fits the way it needs to. And again, everything just stays in check. Indicators with the extra dimension he's got up front and tail root, all that tells you that there's a whole lot of things that are going to come and come in the right way. And again, another one of those, we're going to be repetitive because these things are bred consistent. And this is one that is good today, but these are the type and kind you generally go out there in the barn each and every week and like them a little better as they head to the finish line. This one is 16-3.
16-8 will be the wide-belted or target-butted pig here, and his pedigree would be dog walk glory days. His mom would actually be Mainline's aunt, so really good sow family. We like what we've seen in these first couple litters of dog walk. Look and presence and build's really good. This is just a greener, kind of skinnier pig at this stage of the game, but he's got the indicators that he's just going to continue to come. Looks like a really good kind of feeding pig there.
Yeah, say exactly the same thing. Just echo that. Feeder's dream, what have you. Good built, good running gear. Everything kind of fits and balances the way it needs to with an awesome kind of a look. He's really high-headed and cranks his head really comfortably. He's as tall as his shoulders as his hip, and then just everything's set square. All 8 toes head the right direction. And, even though he is a greener one, he still squares up really good, and you can see the stuff starting to build in him already. All the indicators are there to go ahead and be a really good kind of one. I think we'll have a long-term kind of a thing as far as continuing right on and being good early and get better the longer he goes. And as he hits that end point where we all kind of want him the best, looks like he ought to finish about right. That one is 16-8.
1612, chromed up, a belted pig here. Pedigree on him would be dog walk glory days. His mom would actually be Mainline's aunt, and pigs out of that sow continue to feed and surface in the end. And I think this pig's got that look about him. He looks like a good feeding pig. He's got look and presence. He's got softness to the midsection of his body. He's long out of his hip. He's comfortable out of his rear leg. Of the 16s, he's probably the one that has more bulk and spread at this stage of the game. Still does it in a really balanced, attractive, functional kind of package.
Yeah, another balanced, solid individual with a good look. He's got a real immature look out of his front end, and again, proportions extremely good. Those greener built ones, when they're not too long bodied, are real solid, easy kind of feeds, and he looks like he's going to be one of those good feeders. Long fronted, boxy, short bodied, really good length of stride and reach off of both ends. And he's starting to build some stifle working in there already, and you're seeing all the indicators he's got that thing should continue. And again, when you start with problem-free ones that all have all those basic striking kind of a color pattern, all the aesthetics that you kind of want to start with a good show bearer, a good way to start with one like that. That's 16-12.
17-2, the Hampshire marked pig here is one that hits me good, and I've got faith in his mom and like his pedigree. He is a naughty list back on Mainline's mom, and looks like a high caliber kind of a show barrow. I think perfect proportions in terms of length of body, yet he's a hog that you study his indicators. Looks like one that you're going to have feature, and I've got faith in that sow, obviously, and what she's been able to do. And what we see of these first 2 litters of naughty list pigs here is they look like the kind that are going to feed because their hip, their hind leg, and their build is so good. This pig is a scrotal rupture, so that takes him off the table as a boar prospect. But man, I think again. one that class Hampshire all day long, and I think does it at a high level. Obviously, we'll guarantee him to make it through that surgery. You can have your vet fix him. We could potentially get it done, need be. But I think that's a pig that needs a good home, and one that's sure got a chance to feed.
Yeah, neat pig. And again, yeah, we look at a lot of hogs, and again, things turn in this industry and go one direction or the other. But that one, we whether you like it or don't like the term, timeless is kind of year in and year out, the kind that grab you a pin very quickly. You got to come in the gate with a good look. You got to have enough stoutness when you get in there, and I think that's a pig that looks like he could feed into that all day long. Length of front, stoutness of skull, heaviness of bone, squareness of build coming at you, proportionate kind of bone with a square kind of a foot. Watch him profile. He's got the perfect proportions, long-fronted, boxy-middled, length of hips real good. Square's very, very good. Man, I mean, it's so neat to be able to have balanced hogs that are problem-free and no-nonsense kind of hogs that you have a lot of faith in what they're going to do as far as the extreme upside of what you can get accomplished and all the good things that you can finish up with in the end, and do it in a problem-free fashion. These hogs, they got to have a running gear, and they got to go, into class, they got to go division, they got to be able to go in the end and keep doing it, and he looks like the kind that can get that done. That's 17-2.
17-3 here, traditional marked Hampshire-looking pig. His pedigree would be Naughty List, Glory Days. That sow would actually be Mainline's mom, and these 17s were the first litter of Naughty List that we had, and pumped up with what we see there. Just awesome look, awesome build, awesome running gear. Looks like a pig that just makes an incredibly good heavyweight someday. Love his maturity pattern. Love the length off of both ends of his skeleton. And as I alluded to or talked about on another pig, I think the absolute most impressive thing that we see with these Naughty List pigs is just length of hip and bend and flex to rear leg. That hog, I'd call him kind of green and skinny at this stage of the game, but if you look at his indicators, his jaw, his tail root, that looks like a pig that's just going to continue to get stouter every day of his life, and I think that one's got a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah, this is a pig you kind of can describe him pretty uniquely, and you call him green and ready. He looks like a ready show pig that's got a lot of stuff, but looks like a green one that you're gonna watch him continue to develop and go. I mean, that one's skull shape and look up front, his elevation off the ground, and the way everything blends in his top line. He levels out in his spine, levels out in his hip, and reaches extremely good off of both ends. And he's not void of anything. I mean, he's got good turn to his rib. He's got really good top shape. He's starting to get some bulk there through his stifle and get the right kind of muscle shape. It's real easy to see, but yet still one of those immature ones that looks just like he'll just feed and feed and feed. Just take care of that one, keep him healthy, and target him where you need to, and I think you're going to have a bright future with that one. That one is 17-3.
17-4 would be the black-legged pig here, and pedigree again here is Naughty List, Glory Days. Sal would be Mainline's mom, and just looks like a show bearer deluxe. Killer look, awesome build, incredibly good kind of hip and hind leg. I think really eye-catching with that color pattern and that black leg on his offside. Looks like a pig that's got extras in terms of skull and feature. But, man, I think you'd be challenged to find one any better built in terms of just angles, joints, comfort level, the way he utilizes his skeleton. I think that one's got a pretty high ceiling.
Ring presence is how he sure hits me. I mean, attention grabber right off the bat, and what's it about in a hog show? You got to grab that attention of the judge and keep it, and he looks like one that can get that accomplished pretty well. That one there is man, what a neat one coming out of the gate, and from any angle, watch him profile. He's long-fronted, tall-shouldered, boxy length of the body, reaches and goes really good. Indicators are excellent. He's got the stoutness of feature out of his front end, but a neat kind of a look. Again, everything kind of balances, fits with a very problem-free kind of a thing, and some people don't like that term of a balance or problem-free, but it's better to start with one that is correct and then do the extras that you want to do with it. He's got all that laid in good, and again, we talked about classification down south, and I would sure guess he would be an easy Hampshire classification kind of a pig, or dark cross either one and compete at a very high level in either division. 17-4 is that pig. Really nice hog.
17.9 chromed up cross male here. Pedigree on him would be Naughty List. Actually, back on Mainline's mom. These would be our first couple litters of Naughty List, and really good litter. This pig within that litter, probably just the chunkiest, biggest rib, biggest bodied one. Pig that sure likes to stand there at the feeder and consume and eat feed, and in the long run, think that's going to be a good thing. I think this pig, you get him home and pull him off a self feeder and just manage his intake a little bit. I think you could be really happy with what you've got there, because his build, his flexibility, his angles are all really good. He's just a little extra full today.
Yeah, again, good combination hog with that the bulk that he's got in his rib and extra shape of center and the density and pliability. He's really good looking up front. Not always easy to put together. And watch him trail the stick there. And I mean, he's got a really good kind of running gear. He angles good out of his shoulder. He sets good out of his hip. And he's not green and skinny by any means. He's bulky. There's a big hip working in him, but he knows what to do with that hind leg and sets it really true and square. Just kind of get him on your own feeding program there at home and roll with him accordingly. I think he just looks like a really good kind of a feeder. That's 17-9.
1710, the chromed up pig here, comes from a really deep, consistent litter. That'd be Naughty List, Glory Days. That's how it would actually be Mainline's mom, and a little different color pattern on this one than some of his mates, but same kind of quality. Beautiful look ahead of his blade, right kind of proportions, very, very good length of hip, and just rear skeleton assembly in this pig. I think, if you're into one with just a little different color pattern, that one's got all the right parts and pieces to be a very, very competitive kind of show barrel. Looks like he's got some stretch in terms of a show window and where you end up with that one. But, man, I think, again, I'm going to sound repetitive, but those hogs are so good built. I love just that guy's hip and hind leg. Real good kind of show barrel prospect.
Yeah, he's one that looks like he's got the right maturity, but really starting to build some density. That is he's getting an extra turn to his center rib. He's really pliable in his center body, and I think that's a great thing to be able to expand and go ahead and develop and get the goodies in him. That one there is, again, a good looking up through his front end with feature. He's good in his angle and set. His flexibility and his comfort level is very, very good. Again, nothing we got to make any excuses for anywhere. Problem-free with extras. Love that boldness he's got down his top and the extra turn of body he's got coming off of that loin edge. Really bold in his stifle, but still very much in check as far as staying in bounds where he needs to be in a real feedable kind of a fashion. Unique kind of a bullseye color pattern there that, again, is a kind of a special thing to look at there, too, in him. I think that hog's got a lot of upside with what he can get accomplished. That one's 17-10.
Off-belted pig here would be 1711. Again, pedigree is Naughty List, Glory Days. This sow would be Mainline's mom, and really kind of a different looking pig in the litter. I think all of them have that same kind of jaw and just arm and stoutness of feature. I think this is the shortest bodied, just punchiest 17 at this stage of the game. When you see that hog go directly away from you, man, he's incredible in terms of just his shape coming out of the backside of his blade. He's round and robust through his forerib and mid-body, and then leaves you just as wide, true, and square as you'd ever want. I think this one's got the ability to hang around for a while as a show barrel, and then with that pedigree, the popularity of Naughty List, and then this thing being out of Mainline's mom, I think sure would garner some attention if he grows up and looks like that as a boar prospect. I like his pig quite a bit.
Yeah, neat kind of a hog. This white sock pig here is, man, that's another one that has ring presence. Again, I know it's repetitive, but good looking up front, and then boxy, bulky, and dense in the center. Very good kind of rib and chest floor working in him. He's really true and square, and he's chest, elbow, knee, and front foot. You watch him profile, length of front and boxiness, the length of the body, and reach of hind leg is exactly spot on where you need to have it. And then you don't have to wait for muscle to come in that when you're starting to build a ditch down his top, and a neat kind of a loin edge with some turn to his body. really a very correct kind of a stifle and lower kind of hip working in him, and then watch him flex and go. He utilizes all the extra stuff that he's already got and knows what to do with his joints, and man, his holds together with really kind of eye appeal and balance that you like to see. Got a lot of push and pull in him. You can push him along and I think be really safe where you want to be and go ahead and build him. And if you need to yank back and go longer and go later in the season, sure think he's got the capability of doing that. 17-11.
1712 here we're going to do first, and pedigree here would be Naughty List, back on Mainline's mom, and this is a pig that I identified in the nursery, and honestly I've spent a lot of time looking at because I thought early there that when I found him in the nursery that he resembled Mainline quite a bit, and I think still does in an area or two in terms of just his head and his look up front. His arm shape and just his extra feature. This looks like an incredible big pig to me. His look, his skull shape, his forearm. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find one with just a better kind of a hip and hind leg. His length to hip and just flex and bounce to his rear leg and rear step, I think is incredibly good. Boar or very, very high caliber kind of show barrow. I think when this one's big, man, he's got all the indicators to be very, very special. I like this pig. I absolutely love his pedigree. I think this is one that's got a very, very high kind of ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, another one that just grabs your attention and does it very quickly. Again, if you like him stout, you'll like him. If you like him good looking, you'll like him. And that's not always the easiest thing to do to fit the bill with about any type of judge. But he's got extra stoutness, a feature for the guys that love him stout. He's got the extra eye appeal for jawline and cockiness to be that good looking one. And then he balances, that kind of length of front and stoutness he's got, the heaviness of structure. Again, pound for pound, one of the really heavy structured kind of pigs that really angles and sets good off of both ends, props up on his toes the way he need to, but still has enough set off both ends to kind of be the flexible one, to be sound and correct. Man, what a neat pig from the side. When you watch him profile, cranks that head, levels himself out, perfect length of body, pliability of rib and center body in the right proportion. He squares up really good in his muscle pattern, and a real feedable kind of a pig. A lot of upside with what that one is. I don't know where that one's going to land on your list, but he needs to be a short lister for sure. That one is 17-12.
18-2 here, belted pig. Pedigree would be Dog Eat Dog, Canoe. Mom would this be her second litter. We bought her from our good buddies there at Team Sloan in the source there back in the wintertime, and man, this pig's a lot in terms of width and skull and feature, but yet still very correct in terms of just angulation, shoulder set, and squareness to his hock as he goes directly away from you. I think this pig falls into one of those scenarios. You get this thing home and get him tamed down just a little bit in terms of muscle and hand feed him for a few days, and I think you could be pretty excited about what you've got. I think he's got a big show window with that kind of power and dimension, but I think this is a pig managed properly that has a very, very high ceiling and can be competitive at some of the biggest stages out there.
Yeah, different feeding style on this one than some we've looked at, and that's fine. If you like to, slow roll him a little more, he could be for you. Because, man, that hog's a lot, but he's a lot good. That one is very stout featured, really, really bold skull. That's a big kind of a noggin working in him, forehead and the rim to his snout, and the jawline is real stout. He's very heavy structured, and still with all the stuff he's got, he's still really correct. That hog lays back in his shoulder and takes a bold step coming at you. He's a big hind-ended hog, but still in check as far as where his squareness is. Big stifle, but able to flex his hind leg, and it's a big hind leg. He's got a barrel-shaped kind of a rib, a lot of pliability of center, and a shorter, boxier kind of length of body. Feedability-wise, again, mid to slower pace, and truthfully long-term. He's got a lot of hold in him. I believe the type of, you can keep that one looking fresh for a good little while, and again, extend your show window. Just use those outlying pieces he had and take them to your advantage and just feed him correctly. Really neat kind of a pig. That's 18-2.
18-5 will be the solid black one here. He is a dog-eat-dog Canoe. His mom would be a bred sow purchase from our good buddies there at Team Sloan. last winter there, and man, this dog eat dog thing, when it clicks, it's as good as any. And I like the indicators of this pig. I love his shape to his head and his skull, and then you watch that hog's just this shoulder blade action and the way his blades are pulled apart on the corner of his body. His angulation and set up front's really good. Allows him just to reach effortlessly out there. And you know, we talk a lot about the solid black thing, man. There's been solid black ones win at the very highest level. So don't let that hold you back on what looks like a really good feeding kind of pig here.
Yeah, we've all been beat by a good all black one, and you know, rightfully so. They should contend. You know, we just got to get rid of that stigma. And I think most people are kind of bypassing it, just buying good pigs. That's a good pig. You know, again, that one there is he's not going to wow you in one particular area or one extra piece. You know, he's just balanced. You know, good eye appeal. Tall fronted, he's the right length of the body, middle of the road, boxer length of the body between that whole thing, and then just watch him get out there and flex. You know, he's really good in his squareness, in his chest and his elbow coming at us. He's good going directly away from us with you know, greener muscle pattern, but looks like real feedable, like you can push right along with that one. That one's got a long show window. Getting smaller on pounds here, kind of figure out where you need to be, and you know, I'm not sure where all these things will top out, but I mean, it's obviously way early in the season and getting these things sold, and there's lots of hog shows, and that one fits the bill for a whole bunch of them. That one there is 18-5.
Belted pig here is 18.8. Dog eat dog canoe. Mom would be a high dollar bred that we bought from our friends there at Team Sloan, and several of those 18s represented in the sale. And I know the 18 litter gilts that we've got kept back look dang nice in the slatted barn there. Of the 18 litter males, this pig is probably the most extended up through his head and neck. He's probably the biggest outlined of the 18s, but still got that dog eat dog kind of stoutness to his head and comfort level off of both ends of his skeleton. He's a little different than his litter mates, but I still think a really good kind of pig. You know, of the 18s, if you need one that you can push and feed a little harder, this pig probably fits into that scenario better than what his mates do.
Yeah, just again looks like a good feeder, and again kind of one of those timeless kind of bears that has a good look and kind of medium on frame size. He's got the right kind of elevation, right kind of length of body to go ahead and be the kind that you could speculate will feed on into a heavyweight without hesitation. You get them long fronted like that with skull shape, but clean fronted. They're always good looking. He's got a lot of turn to a center rib. He's got a lot of pliability of body, and he's building lots of shape already. Good turn down his top, good loin edge working in him. He's got a bold kind of a stifle with a square kind of a muscle pattern going directly away, and maintains his squareness from end to end. Again, just looks like a problem-free kind of a solid feeder that again could be a one in the end that could probably surprise you the extras that was going to get with the pedigree he's got. That's 18-8.
19-1 here. Pedigree on him would be naughty list, quite frankly. We've got a pair of these 15-liter, quite frankly, sows, and both of them doing an awesome job. One of them, 15-10, actually just had Cantrell's gilt that was 5th overall at NJSS there a few weeks ago. And this one's mom would be 15-4, and if you walk out in the sow pasture and just pick one sow out, she may be the one that you pick out. And this is the first 19-liter pig we're going to see. There's several of those 19s, but when we tied the naughty list, this is what we were hoping that we could end up with. Wild proportions in terms of being short-bodied, long-necked, and I think what's really been impressive is we've seen these naughty list pigs hit the chip barn is hip and hind leg is just so good. I think this pig's got a very high kind of ceiling.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I mean, right out of the gate, you know, that one there really gives you an awesome kind of look with an extra sharp kind of a jawline, a really good kind of head carriage, but then the feature that he has, you know, he's not devoid of that extra stoutness, but still has an awesome look. Length in front of his blade, that's a long fronted kind of a pig, and then, as Will said, you know, just short bodied in the middle. Long fronted, long hipped, and really good with the reach and flexibility off of both ends. You know, that one's got a lot of upside. You know, these we'll try to kind of guide you a little bit It's hard to tell on screen how big they are. He's a smaller pig on pounds here, and kind of figure out where your endpoint needs to be there, and surely check with Will on growth pattern on sow lines and all that. But that one there's got a lot of upside, a long show career. Very, very good one there to look at. It's again no deficiencies in him whatsoever. Everything sets true and square and basic and balanced with lots and lots of extras. That's a 19-1.
19-2 black-headed pig comes from a really deep, consistent litter, and honestly, he's the pound's smallest pig in the litter. But thought that he represented enough quality that he needed to make the sale set. He's a naughty list back on a 15-4. Quite frankly, Sal, it's done an awesome job, and this pig shows a lot of the same parts and pieces as his litter mates in terms of his look, in terms of his hip and rear leg. If that color pattern works for you, I think that's a pig that looks like he can sure feed. It's going to take him a minute to get there. If you're looking for a Phoenix barrow, you probably ought to look elsewhere. But I think if you've got some flexibility in terms of your feeding window and where that pig ends up, I think that's one that could do a lot of good. There's some litter mates that are going to be pretty popular, and if you're dead set on getting one of those, I wouldn't shy from this one because I think he's got quality. He's just a little different color and comes in a smaller kind of package at this stage.
Yeah, he may be one that he may not be on your immediate short list that you try to get bought, but don't bypass him. There are a lot of those hogs that are basic and solid and have really good feedability with no problems. They're very good pigs to feed, but can get overlooked pretty easily when you get some outlying pieces to kind of look at top end of the sale. But this one here again, feature-wise, has a stout skull. He's heavy boned, aesthetics of hair, bulky kind of center as far as his pliability of rib and body, his squareness of hip and reach behind leg. I mean, he's got all the same stuff. Every single one's done, as Will said, different color pattern, a little different size. Kind of pick and choose what you may need, but that's one that, again, definitely needs to be paid attention to sale time also. That was 19-2.
19-3, the white-legged pig here, and again, the pedigree on these 19s, naughty list, quite frankly, one of the really good 15-liter, quite frankly, sows that we have, and I really like these 19-liter pigs. We saw Naughty List last winter and absolutely hit me like a ton of bricks. And pigs like this are what we hoped that we'd end up with when we tied to that boar. For me, perfect show bearer proportions in terms of his length of body. He's a hog that's got a really good kind of a head shape to him, and then you'll hear me say it several times. I think the hip and rear leg and just rear skeleton function to these pigs is off the charts good. Like this one quite a bit. Think he's got a big show window as a show barrow in terms of end point and where he potentially ends up. But good pig out of a really good sow. And this one hits me again pretty good.
Yeah, again, another one just covers the basics, and you got to get that done and not have a gaping hole that you got to figure out how you're going to fill in with the bucket. That's a problem-free one. Balances and proportions very good. Length of front, shorter boxer length of body. His ability to reach and go off of both ends, again, really where it needs to be. Again, a strong-footed kind of a pig up on his toes, but still got angle, set, and reach off of both ends. Again, not one that just wows in one particular area, but he doesn't disappoint you in any area either, and that's a pretty important place to be. Balance, eye appeal, solid individual that's got all the stuff covered as far as where he fits, good-looking. Proportioned extremely good with a good kind of running gear, and the bones down low match everything we see up high. Just should be a really good solid feeder. That one is 19-3.
19-6 here, the chromed up pig, the naughty list, quite frankly. You'll see several of these 19-liter pigs, and this is probably the boldest, just bulkiest 19 at this stage of the game, and honestly a pig that looks like he needs managed a little bit. And again, just being transparent and want you to know what you're putting on feed. He's not one that needs fed hard and fast. He's a pig that's going to fit that slow roll kind of a scenario, but man, I don't want to be too negative because there's still a lot of good in that pig. He's one that from shoulder blade back that's really moderate and boxy and punchy. Yet he's a hog that still has a good look about his front end. I think you get that one managed properly and go at a slow pace and kind of a low protein kind of deal. That pig's got a lot of good in him.
Yeah, no, he's not one for the faint of heart, or if you kind of like to just kind of pitch him feed and go, not for you, but if you want to take some time and do him right, you could be rewarded in the end. I mean, a big time way. I mean, and again, don't want to be negative on him either, because I mean, he can run with the best of them fed correctly. Color pattern's amazing on that pig. That one's got a really neat kind of a splash off both sides, and about any angle you take him, he's very unique from that aspect. He's probably got as much density and stoutness as maybe anything we've looked at today. Bold, stout, three-dimensional kind of a hog, very stout skull, a very good rib and body working in him, shapely top with, and again, it's not going to be flat-sided by any means. He's got a big, robust kind of top with a good loin edge, but has good body shape below that. Big stifle, but still not out of bounds. He's, get him on his own clip on at home and then slow him up and see what you got. I think you're going to be very, very pleased with what you get to. Again, just be one of those that fed correctly, fed slowly, and go over a longer period of time. He's got a lot of hold in him. Very intriguing kind of a pig here with a neat color pattern. That one is 19-6.
19.9 here, pedigree would be naughty list, quite frankly, and this 19 litter pigs, you'll see several of those, and or have seen several of them as we go through this preview. This is the densest, stoutest, burliest one in my opinion. A hog that is so bold about his chest. He's got a big arm. He's got a big rear leg, and yet still maintains look, presence, and has that trademark or that hip and hind leg that we've seen out of this naughty list deal. I think this is a pig that has a very, very high ceiling as a show barrow, the kind that I think it takes to compete at the highest level. He's got a little deviation in his top, but if you've fed some of those in the past, he's going to have a huge back and a huge rib cage. I like this pig quite a bit. Only thing I don't like about him is he's a crypt. Otherwise, I think that one would need to be on the boar list, but those are the kind that it takes to swing for the fences and try to win some of those big shows. This pig hits me really good, and I've got faith in his pedigree.
Yeah, he looks like the epitome of a Southwest show barrow that can win. He's got that extra stout kind of feature. He just has that kind of eye appeal coming out of the gate. That kind of boldness and stoutness of forehead and broadness coming at you. That is a bold, wide chest, but still maintains squareness in his elbow, knee, and front foot. Love his angle and set out of his front end. He's heavy structured, aesthetics of hair. Plants a really big kind of a paw for both ends, but still maintains the strength of pastern. Man, his reach and comfort level for that kind of density that he's got is really, really good. Big old barrel-shaped rib, a lot of pliability of center for upside of feedability. And man, one of the most athletic hind legs we've looked at today, and it's big. He squares up good. He's got the right kind of muscle at this particular stage. He squares up really good, but I love the way he reaches back with that hock behind his tail head and just goes. A lot of upside what you can accomplish with that one there, too. That one is 19-9.
1910 here, the wider belted pig with the white hind leg. One that hits me really good, and I know that I've probably been repetitive, but man, we've got several litters represented in this sale, and we've called these things very, very hard. His pedigree is naughty list, quite frankly, and we've got a pair of those 15-liter, quite frankly, sows that have done an awesome job. This one's got the same kind of hip and hind leg as the rest of those 19s. Probably comes with just more punch everywhere. Bigger chested, he's round bodied, he's got shape and muscle. He's really three-dimensional, yet a pig that is just absolutely so correct in terms of his shoulder set. His length of hip, I think, is phenomenal. His bend to his rear leg is so good. I think if you ask for a short list or a boar list, I think this one's sure got to be on it. I think herd boar quality are the kind that if you decide to get the knife out, that looks like he's got potential to win a big barrel show.
Yeah, that one hits me really hard coming in the gate. That's a good pick, kind of medium size for the sale here as far as where we're at on pounds and all that to calculate where you need to be there. That one reads out of his skull. If you choose to run the bore aspect, it looks like one that can generate that kind of skull shape and broadness of forehead and jawline. Just kind of yields to that particular direction when everything else is not messed up behind it, and he is not messed up behind it. Very, very good squareness of chest, really intact in his elbow, knee, and front foot. Huge set of bones and feet, and very correct feet. Everything heads north and south the way it needs to, and like his angles, his set, and his reach, and his go, and then watch his proportions from the side. That kind of that kind of big shoulder blade that you really see the activity in there, and the mobility that ho's got off of both ends, and then look at the length of the body, the pliability of center. Dead perfect set of hind leg and ability to reach. Get him and see which way you want to go, bore or barrel, which I wouldn't make that decision real quick because I'm still hog breeder in me that likes to see those ones that you think can generate, and he sure looks like he could be one of those. That's 19-10.
20-4 belted pig here is the first one in this pen we'll talk, and very unique pig, and neat kind of a pedigree. He is a draw the line. And then his mom is a blow and smoke back on, quite frankly, his littermate sister. So a pig that, from a pedigree standpoint, ties some really key sows together, and a line bred kind of pedigree in terms of that sow family being on both sides of the pedigree. And we talked, and we're going to offer all our June and May and early June pigs in this particular sale. Just with the schedule, we're not going to make any of those Texas pig sales this time around, but this is one that sure would have been on that list because I don't like the term, but people use the term weird or wacky. This pig's proportions are different.
Weird and wacky.
Weird and wacky, yes. He is very short-bodied, yet extremely long-fronted and long-hipped. A pig that you do this enough, those things together in one package aren't easy to accomplish. This pig hits me very, very well. I think he's got a high ceiling. I think one that could be an incredible kind of show barrow that's got a big show window. And again, with that kind of pedigree, I think certainly one that deserves some consideration to be a boar. He is the only male pig in that litter. The gilts are already in the slatted barn, and equally as impressive. So good litter, really neat line bred kind of pedigree. Like this pig quite a bit.
Yeah, 3 words that hit me when he first came in the ring here was cocky, exotic, and unique, and I think it's an honest appraisal of him. He is very special in his look. And again, we're in a visual industry, and grab the attention when you first get in there and make them continue to look, and that's what this pig does. He's really good out of his front end. He's almost disproportionately long fronted in a very good kind of a way. Very neat fronted, very, very good kind of skull shape, with extension and cockiness of jawline, his sharp ear set, and then watch the profile, man. He's very long fronted, very long hipped, and really short bodied in the middle of it. Everything balances, proportions the way it needs to. Running gear, there's nothing you have to grant there. He goes ahead and angles and sets and reaches extremely good with a very high comfort level. And again, he's got stuff, but man, he is an immature kind of a hog that, again, week in and week out, you can push on and do the things you need to, dual purpose wise, whether you want to consider him boar prospect. He's sure a very unique one that could cover a lot of sows and do a lot of good on making a better generational type of thing next go around. You pick and choose that yourself, over time as you kind of get that one bought. But that one needs to be a short lister there too. That's 20-4.
23-4 here would be a choked up pace car. His mom would be the 40-2 pace car sow, and just had one litter of these choked ups, but as we've watched these pigs come through the nursery and into the chip barn, looks like that boar's going to do a nice job. He sure added some feature and bone to this particular sow. Love this pig's skull shape. He's awesome in terms of just his length of hip, and then still just functions and reaches and goes like one needs to. Looks like a great kind of heavyweight someday to me. Looks like a good feeding pig that his best day is going to be the end when he's a big heavyweight kind of hog.
Yeah, again, one that has ring presence, has eye appeal out of the gate, cocky, high-headed, square-chested, good kneed, and then watch him profile the type of elevation and type of length of body that he's got and where he's at in his maturity. Again, as Will said, just to be patient to go ahead and allow all those to grow on into a heavyweight. He shouldn't put out on you. You should always have a good look. He should always have enough elevation, length of body to be a competitive kind of a heavyweight. Indicators look like he's one that's going to stouten up as he goes. Good square built kind of an individual with shape and eye appeal and again, a good kind of a running gear that you can kind of depend on to hold together. That one is 23-4.
23-8 comes next. Pedigree here would be Choked Up Pace Car. His mom would be one of the 40-liter pace car sows that we have. I believe we still have 3 of those sows, and they've all done a nice job. And but I think this one, 40-2, this is her best litter. You're going to see a couple of these 23s, and man, they've got extra feature and stoutness. This pig's really heavy structured, yet I still think stays in check in terms of squareness and balance off of both ends of his skeleton. He fits, to me, I anticipate kind of fits that slow roll kind of scenario, a pig that you're never going to want to have to push on real hard. But I'll tell you, with we just had 1 litter of these choked ups, and I wish we had more, because I think he made a difference on this sow in particular, and sired pigs that have extras in terms of feature and stoutness.
Sharp look up front with a lot of density and stoutness behind it. Middle of the road on frame size, and again, kind of go mid-pace and slower because he's got more stuff. He's got a big, robust kind of a top working in him with turn of rib and body, and he's a big stifled hog, but still very much in check. You're not going to have to wait on that one to be heavy bone. I mean, pound for pound, where he's at in his stage of growth, I mean, he fits the bill as far as everything matching down low that we're looking at up high. And with that extra stoutness, he's got a sharp, clean kind of a look up through his front end. That's really going to be a ring presence kind of a hog coming out of the gate. Everything balances a fit. Just kind of pace that one accordingly. Again, no excuses hog with extras already. That's 23-8.
24-2, the wide-belted one here would be a mainline, quite frankly. 1510 would be his mom. That sow just recently had that Cantrell gilt that got along real successfully there at the show in Indy, and we continue to go back to the well with mainline. This is the 3rd crop in a row that we've had mainline pigs, and it's because of pigs like this. I think you could call this pig green or skinny or immature, but man, he's got a beautiful look. He's heavy structured. He's got a big chest for a greener, skinnier kind of pig, and just looks like the kind that's going to feed. He's going to continue to get better and be at his absolute best when it matters most, when he's a big one. I think this pig's got a bright future. Does look like he is a crip there, so take that into note there, but don't let that deter you from what looks like an awesome feeding kind of pig here.
He's a pig that represents a lot of the positive aspects of what his daddy did when he was a pig and sold to PT. I mean, that one has that sharp, cocky kind of look out of his front end. That skull shape and ear set out of a main line is very traditional and consistent. He looks, again, a green, immature kind of a hog where, I mean, so comfortable and loose in his joints. He's angled and set out of his shoulder, knee, and front foot. Heaviness of structure, pound for pound, really heavy boned. He's very elevated up off the ground with a long set of cannons and a long kind of a front end, but still not too long bodied. He's perfect length of body for the barrier ring there today. And again, man, just the effortless, comfortable kind of a look that hog gives you off of both ends, and the way he gets out and goes. And he's got muscle building, but it's in a greener pattern that you can get him pretty creative right off the bat when you start in with him. A lot of upside in what one like that can create for you in the end. That one there is 24-2.
24-6 is the belted one here. His pedigree is mainline. Quite frankly, I talked quite a bit about a pair of 15-liter sows. 15-4 is the mother of the 19s. 1510 is the mother of this particular pig here, and that sow just continues to have pigs that feed and surface. Most recently, she had the Cantrell gilt there at NJSS that was fourth dark cross and ended up fifth overall crossbred gilt there in that show. And man, the mainline thing, we just continue to go back to the well because the pigs are good. And this pig, I think, showcases a lot of things that you get with mainline. He's got a good look. He's got good shape. He's got flair and expression to his hip and stifle, yet he stays in check in terms of width as he goes away. This is a pig that, again, I'm trying to be transparent, that I think has a big show window. I don't know that you'd ever want to push or go real fast with him. I think he fits into that slow and steady kind of a scenario, but I think a pig that's got all the right pieces.
Yeah, again, neat combination hog. That's good looking, but packs a lot of punch. That one there's very bold coming at you, very good kind of a jawline. Really opened up in his chest, but still stays very square in his elbow and knee up front. He's got really good kind of turn of rib and body, and then watch his advancement of muscle. He's got really a ditch running down his top with a sharp kind of turn along his loin edge. It doesn't go into a flat-sided kind of a body. It's got a good dimension to his center, which is always a positive thing. And then again, he's advanced in his shape as he goes directly away, and the volume of muscle he's got. But then watch kind of where he sets everything. Still squares up very good. Managed at the right pace. That one's going to be a really solid, easy feeder. That again, you can do a lot of things long term with him. That one there is 24-6.
28-2 would be the white hind-legged pig here that's got just a little wrinkle in his ear. His pedigree would be Mojo Glory Days, and again, this would be one of Grant's sows in one of his litters, and I really like this pig within that litter. He's really, really moderate in terms of his length of body, yet extended and long up front. He's got the right kind of hip and rear leg, and if you're into the hair thing, man, this one reads like he's going to be just 9 kinds of hairy and the right kind of texture to it. Another pig that I think's got a pretty big show window in terms of his end point with that kind of rib shape and body and moderation. I think this is a pig that man just hits a wide variety of judges with the way he's put together. I like this one quite a bit.
It's like a really good build hog. His running gear. I really, really like the way everything fits. The comfort level that hog has. I mean, the way he's just built from the tip of his nose all the way back. Again, cranks his head above his spine. And again, he blends really good in that head carriage back in the top of his blade. A lot of the hogs don't do that anymore, and he's very smooth in that aspect. He's as tall as his shoulders, he is his hip. He's got an extremely flexible kind of spine, but still maintains the center of his spine up enough to where everything kind of fits and balances. And then just watch his comfort level, and he just floats. He's really good at his angle and set out of his front end. He does exactly the same thing off his hind leg. That one there, again, you can get very creative if you're a feeder that likes to do a lot of stuff to really kind of build and make some massive things. I think you got the ability to do that pretty quick with that one and do it for a long term. Really good kind of pig, excellent kind of build, really good kind of a running gear for sure. That one there is 28-2.
28-4 comes next here, and this would be one of Grant's litters. He's got a few sows of his own, and good litter and really, really good pig. He would be a Mojo Glory Days, so this is you're going to see some of our first Mojo litters, and I think if you like hogs with just true density, feature, and real muscle. I think he's that, and he does all those things while still being really correct out of just his hip and rear leg. But that's a hog with real muscle that's got extra feature that's still really good in terms of the way he reaches and goes. I think right judge, right scenario, that's a pig that could get along really, really well.
You haven't seen many mojos at this size. I saw a litter of them born the other day that were really good, a bunch of them, and they were uniform and heavy structured. And he kind of fits that same kind of pattern. It's neat to kind of see him grow into that. And this one here, has that extra eye appeal as far as the extension, the cocky kind of jawline, but really good kind of feature out of his skull. His elevation and heaviness of structure is really good. His flexibility hind legs excellent with a huge kind of a tail root. And, there's an abundance of muscle there, but it's really put in him right. And, he hits me as one that when he hits full stride and he ends up as a heavyweight with the type of length of front and type of length of body and elevation he's got, man, that one's going to be a killer, kind of a big one. Neat kind of a color pattern to boot. Really good kind of a pig. That's 28-4.
28.5 would be the blue one here. Pedigree is Mojo Glory Days, and good litter of pigs there. And I'd call this of the 28s the biggest outlined, most extended one, and still mean that in a good way. If you've got an earlier show, that's a hog that looks like he could just be fed hard all the way through and never have to back up. I think if you're shooting for a show maybe next spring, I would look a different direction because I don't know that one's got a long shelf window in terms of just his proportions. But if you want one that you can just hammer the feed bucket to and keep right on rolling and make to one of these earlier shows, I think same kind of quality as his mates in terms of his feature, bone, and stoutness, just comes in a bigger outline kind of a package.
Yeah, again, looks like a really good feeder, and again, if you like to slow roll them and go long term, he's not the one. But if you like to feed them and see what they're made of and push and go, he looks like he'll get that accomplished really well. Very stout skulled, really good shape there up front as far as that extra dimension of feature. Heavy structure kind of a pig. It again angles and sets good off of both ends. All 8 toes head the right direction in a strong kind of a pastern. His elevation and type of length the body's got and type of maturity. Again, one of those that you can get really creative and kind of roll right along with. Top him out there early and don't try to hold on to him. Is where he's going to be the very best. But he's not deficient of anything. I mean, he's got squareness at top. He's got squareness of hip. Got a big athletic kind of a hind leg. Really good kind of a blue hog that fits that division in a big time way. That one there is 18-5 or 28-5.
30-2 would be the Calico pig here. He is a full faith, wide awake, and full faith, the mainline son there at Halfins that honestly colored just about like this pig that we sold in the same sale a year ago. And man, I think this pig resembles his dad quite a bit, and really like what we've seen in our couple litter of full faith here early. He's another boar that we plan to go back and use again, and really like the sow behind him and what that boar we see from that boar early here. This pig's mom, a wide awake sow that is awesome in her build and feature, and bar none, she is the hairiest sow on the farm. And for what it's worth, I don't know that it's relevant or not. She absolutely never shucks it. She always stays hairy. It's dense, it's coarse, it's long. I think you can see that in this pig. I like this pig quite a bit. Bone, feature, and look, incredible kind of a hip and hind leg. Looks like a pig that's got a big shelf window that you could do a lot of different things with, and a pig that looks like he fits a lot of different judges.
Yeah, no, he, again, size-wise, he's one of the smaller ones on pounds to this point we've viewed anyway. Really a neat pig. Again, I don't care what size they are. They're all this size at one time, and when they're this good this early, it really makes you excited about the future, what they might have to offer. Skull shape, dimension of front end, heaviness of structure, pound for pound, where he's at. He's really, really heavy boned. Love him from the profile. Cranks his head up above his spine really comfortably. Perfect length of body in between. Indicators of skull, hair coat, bone, tail root, all that fits, and then watch his build. I mean, he's really good with his turn of center, and again, he needs to be a greener kind of a pattern pig at this particular size, and he kind of is. That one there looks like he's got a tremendous amount of feedability, and I don't know where that one ends up, but it's a ways away before he he finishes up, and you can do a lot of fun things in between time. That one's 30-2.
30-6 here, pig with the little white switch on his tail would be a full faith, wide awake, and these would be the first full faith litters that we've had, and really pumped with what we see out of him. And I think this is a very, very unique kind of pig. His look, his presence, his moderation in terms of his length of body, and then a pig that just flexes so well out of his hip and rear leg. He's a pig that looks like it's going to take him a minute to get there, and he's not overblessed with just muscle and bloom at this stage of the game. But, I talked about it when we looked at his litter mate. His mom is impressive. She is as good haired and stout featured as any sow on the farm. And we can talk about a lot about additives to do the hair thing and whatnot. They got to have the genetic capability, in my opinion, to do it. His mom's awesome hair. You can see it in this pig, the texture to his hair, and just the way it lays on him. And then couple that with the fact that he reads with quality in terms of uniqueness, in proportionality, and then just such a good set of running gear. I think this is going to be a really neat pig to watch progress through summer, fall, and winter there. I think, again, it's going to take him a minute to get there, but I think that's a pig that has, again, a high ceiling, and you're going to hear me say that several times. But man, we've called these things hard. They're out of some of our better sows. I think that pig's got a shot.
Yeah, again, he's one of the smaller on pounds that we've looked at, and it's are you speculating some what's coming? Perhaps, but when there's power in the blood, and kind of what that thing is, and then you see what indicators he's got, I think it's good he's not as advanced in his muscle. I think that one, your outcome is going to be so much better when you're immature, and you can go ahead and start with one that has those cocky kind of eye appeal things. I mean, he is so comfortable getting his head above his spine. He's as tall as his shoulders, he's his hip, he's shorter bodied. He's got extremely good flexibility off of both ends. I mean, that's one that can get you excited. Will he be the top one on your list? I don't know. He's one that we'll call him a sleeper, what have you. But you bypass that one. That one's going to come back to bite you if somebody else shows against you. I would surely pay attention to what that one does, and then take him home and just take care of him and let him develop. I think that one's going to get pretty exciting over a period of time. Again, we're speculating some because he is small, but man, he's bred good. All the stuff is there to see. Love his build, love his immaturity at this particular size. I think that's going to be a benefit to him in the end. Definitely one to look at sale time, 30-6.
33-1 narrow belt here. Pedigree would be high heat, out for blood. High heat, a boar that honestly we probably didn't use enough or didn't use early enough. But I think this pig, from what I've seen other places out of high heat, this is what you expect. Moderation in terms of length of body, a really good skeleton pig that is really unmatched in terms of look and presence. I think for one that is that long-fronted, boy, that's a moderate pig everywhere else. I think a really unique combination that looks like he has a very, very high ceiling as a show barrow.
Yeah, very. That high heat thing has got its. A lot of the lines will have their own distinctive things, and high heat's got his, and that is an extra slick, neat-looking kind of a front end with a shorter body behind it, and a good set of bones and aesthetics of hair. And that one fits all that same bill. You've got the white switch on the tail on this one. This one's he could be a dual purpose one in my book anyway, as far as one that could go as a boar prospect or a bear either way, and do it in a very high quality level. And push the limits in the end. Sharp, neat look, distinctive up front, sharp ears set off that front end with a cocky kind of a jawline, super short-bodied in the middle of it. And then he's still elevated off the ground. He's tall as shouldered as he is, as tall as his shoulder as he is at his hip. He squares up extremely good in his chest, good in his elbow, knee, front foot. I love his angle and set out of his shoulder and the way he gets out there and gets after it, and is a very comfortable hog going directly away. Squares up really good with the right length of stride, big stout indicators, sharp kind of a look. I like that one quite a bit. That one is 33-1.
34-1 blue pig here is his pedigree is Rampage, heavy hitter. His mom would actually be one of the blue littermate sisters to Hardball. Boar that did a nice job there at PBG, and again mentioned on another pig that we liked some of the Rampage pigs last time around, and tied to him and bred a few key sows to him, and sure happy we did. I think one thing that's very distinct about the Rampage litters that we've had is that head and that front end and throat latch, and the way everything attaches to the front 1/3 of their body, and then from there back, that's a pig that reads good in terms of his mid body, and then length of hip, and just utilization of his rear leg is all good. That's a pig that, again, I think's got a real muscle and real shape. One that reads like he could have a very, very big show window. No telling how long you could potentially show that one, but I think it could be for a long, long time.
Another very neat pig that the old traditional gun blue hip and blue head. I like that he's got a very sharp kind of a color pattern. Get into the pig himself, and high-headed, long-fronted, really good ability to reach and go and flex. He's a shot greener in his body and his pattern probably, which just yields to more feedability to what you can get accomplished with one like that. Again, just a no-nonsense pig that, again, problem-free, balanced, no holes kind of a pig that just gives you a sharp kind of look out of the gate. He doesn't disappoint you when he goes directly away, and then get out there in the center of that ring and watch that profile. He's going to cock off and get that head cranked above his spine and really being a very impressive kind of a show bearer. That one there is 34-1.
35-7 would be Unmatched, FAFO, and then after that would be Pace Card's mom. And if you know what those sows look like or what they generate, this is exactly what you'd expect. Dense, bold, wide, and really, really stout featured. Unmatched, the boar there at Crossroads. Unrivaled son. We just had a few litters of those, but we like those pigs. And if you're looking for something, you like them dense, stout, and wide. This one would sure be for you. And honestly, this one, I'm not talking you out of him for a show bear. Maybe looks more like a board to me. If you've got good-looking, good-made sows that you're looking for something that needs to add punch and feature and just dimension, this pig looks like that all day long. I think if you do decide to make him as a show barrow, he's one that can hang around for a long time. He'll need brought along slow, regardless of what you decide on that pig there. I think he's got a lot of versatility and a big shelf window.
Yeah, he's a moderate three-dimensional, bold, stout one. If you like him slick and cute, that's not your pig. That is the one that broadness of forehead and skull shape. We've seen some money come back out of that sow line that have that kind of look that come out and generate. So if you run a boar as a boar, you surely can use that one on some neat, slick sows that need more punch and more stuff. Stoutness of skull, big barrel-shaped rib, huge set of bones. He's moderate in his elevation and his boxiness and length of body. He's very, very bold in his muscle pattern with a lot of advancement there, but still doesn't have any issues. Everything still flexes good in his hock, and everything still squares up real good. Again, slower paced and longer term. I mean, he's got hold in him all day long. He's going to be more of a middle of the road or a middleweight kind of a pig as far as type and kind wise, unless you want to string over a longer period of time, which I think he probably can do. And again, as a heavyweight, he's not going to be the elevated slick one. He'll be the bold stout one that can overpower you with a three-dimensional kind of look. That's 35-7.
36-3 blue is next, and again, pedigree here would be Mojo Pace Car sow that would actually originated from Moyers and had one of our high-selling litters back in the spring, and sounds like those pigs are feeding well and doing well. I like this blue. I like this pair of 36 litter male pigs very, very well. Stoutness a feature, yet he's a pig that's moderate in his length. He's elevated in terms of his stature. And then you just look at his indicators. Man, he's got a giant tail root. He's got a really stout kind of a forehead. He's got a big arm working in him. It just looks like a pig that, man, it's put together right. He just needs groceries and time, and I think that one's got a high ceiling regardless of color. The fact that he does it in a blue package is I think even more appealing. Really good pig there, in my opinion, in this 36-3 blue.
Yeah, I like that combination of extra stoutness of feature, but still a really immature kind of a look. You know, that one's skull and length of front is very, very impressive. High-headed, cranks above his spine really comfortably. You know, pound for pound, one of the real heavy bone ones we'll look at there today. I mean, everything really, really bold and stout to the ground. And then watch his proportions, length of front, shorter bodied, length of hip, tail root size, all very good. And maybe just squares up in a real feedable type of fashion. I mean, you know, new feeder or experienced feeder, you could take one like that and come out looking like a rock star in the end, because you're starting with a really good pig. It's got a lot of stuff, but in an immature package that really, really feeds solid and easy with no problems. And that one's going to be a short lister on that blue thing for me for sure. That's 36-3 blue.
36-3 chrome here. We've got two 36-3s. The other one's blue, so just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. I like this pair of 36-litter male pigs really well. Pedigree is Mojo Pace Car. This sow would have actually had the 36-litter pigs in the spring, so that would have been high selling gilt in one of our sales. And those 36-litter pigs in the spring were well received and got in some good homes. I absolutely love this one in terms of a show barrel. Very, very uniquely marked in terms of his color pattern, and a pig that is so good built and so good looking. His look and presence whenever he cocks off, and then everything just fits and matches in terms of bone and feature. I think this is one that's got a very high ceiling, and again, that is a very, very unique color pattern. I think good pig and everything kind of fits there. I've got faith in this one's mom. I've got faith, obviously, in Mojo and what it looks like he's going to do. I think that's a pig that's got a high ceiling.
Yeah, another really neat pig, and you know, again, he's lighter on pounds. He's not the smallest one we'll look at today, but he's pretty small. But again, not a lot of guesswork, because when they have those kind of proportions and that kind of eye appeal in that pedigree, everything kind of comes together. Very, very neat, slick, and unique up through his front end, cocky, looking, and cranks his head above his spine. The fact that he's a shorter body kind of a bear, again, when those greener pattern kind of hogs, it just you just have a lot more confidence in the fact they're going to be easy feed and easy hold together kind of pigs. Unique fronted, square built, short body, but still green in his center. He's immature in his muscle, but very, very square in his build. And look at his indicators: broadness of forehead, tail root, bone, hair, foot, all that stuff kind of fits extremely well. Again, you'll speculate a little because he's small, but I wouldn't worry about that one at all. That one is just going to continuously get better. Love that one quite a bit. Again, that color pattern, I mean, you gotta gravitate to that pretty quickly as a judge. That's 36-3.
38-6, the Calico here, prime time, the mainline son at Halfin's, back on a Flying Monkey Anchorman sow that's been around for a minute, but certainly a sow that's earned her keep. Obviously, a very unique pig from a color pattern standpoint, real unique kind of calico deal going on there, but a pig that has a quality look to him. He looks extended from shoulder blade forward. He's a pig that looks like he's got the right kind of muscle pattern and shape. He's a pig that reads with some extra feature, and there won't be many of those prime times. Sounded like they unfortunately lost that boar pretty early in the breeding season there. That looks like just a no excuses, good feeding kind of a pig. And again, going to take him a minute to get there. These aren't very big as we preview them here, but I think a pig that certainly represents some quality.
Yeah, neat pig. You know, we see a lot of calicos anymore, and he's kind of got a distinct calico, red beltish looking, kind of a color pattern. I like the extra black on his face, kind of a very distinct kind of a look. I like that pig quite a bit. Stoutness of skull, a heavy bone kind of a pig, really, really flexible. I like his reach off his hind leg and the way he's able to get out there and go. And again, he's advanced in his bone work and advanced in some of his feature, but still green in his build as far as one that you can kind of speculate is going to be with his indicator going to go ahead and just kind of continue. Again, not very big on pounds. Figure out where you need to run with him later on. I think you're going to be very pleased with a really good kind of a feeder that you could work with there. That one is 38-6.
38.9, the pig here with the white hind legs would be a primetime flying monkey. Primetime would have been the mainline son there at Halfins that unfortunately they lost way too soon. And then out of a full older flying monkey, Anchorman Sal that's stuck around for a while and has certainly earned her keep. And this pig reads like one that is really slick about his jawline and his front end. He's a hog that reads to have real muscle and shape, and yet a pig that reads really in check in terms of hip and hind leg and the way that all functions. Again, these aren't very big on pounds. They're just early June pigs as we video them here. But I think, if you're able to make it to sale, these things are on the way up, and I think they're going to change quite a bit between now and sale time. Just looks like, again, not to be repetitive, but a good feeding kind of pig.
Yeah, again, eye appeal, ring presence, gives you a sharp look out of the gate. Watching profile, he's tall-shouldered, level design, perfect length of body. And again, one of those, again, if a judge likes him stout or likes him neat looking, I mean, I think he fits the bill of one that that could come together and be both kinds, and suit a lot of discriminating judges that like certain things because he's problem free, good looking, he's sound, he's proportioned right. He's going to have rib. He's going to have body. He's got squareness at top, already starting to build, and a very square kind of a hip with an athletic hind leg. Again, solid individual. Long time before that one finishes up. He's not very big, not very old. So again, if you need one kind of long term, he's one that can kind of I think stand the test of time on being able to hold together and be just a good one when he finishes up. That's 38-9.
The narrow-belted one here is 39-2. Pedigree is Forever Absolute. That's how the mother of Draw the Line, Full Faith, Main Drag that was at Moore's, the pig that won our Youth Expo last winter. And again, these are just early June pigs, so obviously not pounds big, but we wanted to include them in this live sale. And you're going to see several of these 39s. I believe there's 5 of them in the sale, maybe 6 of them. This one maybe reads to be a shorter-bodied, boxier one of those mates. But again, that's in one of our top 5 sows, potentially top 2 or 3 sows on the whole farm, sired by Forever. And in my opinion, this is what a 15, 20-pound pig needs to look like. There's a little bit of guesswork, but, man, I think you could be really happy with what you've got. You get these things bought and give them another 10 days or so, you could look real, real smart.
Yeah, this one, I mean, and I know we're speculating a lot on the size that they are, but I mean, you could picture this one, in truth, with black-legged littermate too, as being more prospects in the
Absolutely.
end. I mean,
especially with the pedigree.
Exactly. I mean, that's the guesswork on the sow line is zero. What they're going to do and what they're going to accomplish, and then you put them in this kind of a package where they look like this at this size. I don't know what some of these things bring anymore. You could be very, very smart picking off that pair of 39s and then just let them grow a little bit before you make the decision, because there could be some very extreme things happen in a very, very good way. I always say there's about 10 things can happen to pigs, and 7 of them are bad. Well, I think the 3 good things could happen to this pair pretty good. That's a good-looking one up front, very short-bodied. I love his running gear. Man, that is a flexible hind leg. He reaches behind his tail head really comfortably. He squares up so good, real proportionate kind of bone, and very, very square in his build. And that one just needs groceries time and goodies, and just let him go. Again, I don't know where endpoint that thing is, or if you want to run him as a board prospect, but that's another real intriguing pig. Got to be toward that top quarter of the list in the sale for sure. That one's 39-2.
39.5 here, the black-legged one. Pedigree is Forever. Back on Absolute, Cruel Intention, and a sow that, man, she's in the top couple percent here. She would have had the 31s at this time last year. That would have been Draw the Line at Laird's. Full Faith at Halfin's, Main Drag that was there at Moores, and then the pig that won our Youth Expo and was Reserve Cross at Perry. These pigs obviously small on pounds, but that is one of our absolute best sows, and I think for little early June pigs, these things sure look the part. Of the 39s, this is maybe the most moderate, punchiest one in terms of his rib and body at this stage of the game. Again, there's some guesswork here, but in reality, I don't know that there is, because that sow does it time and time again, and these look as good as anything that she's had at this particular stage of the game. So I think the ceilings here are very, very high.
Yeah, again, another small pig on pounds, and he hits me as a combination hog of again, very good looking up front and really dense behind his blade. I mean, he's very good. It comes with boldness of rib. He's got a big barrel-shaped turn to his rib, a lot of pliability of center, and it's good that these hogs, as they hit that stage of development, when at this early stage of being able to expand, and you would anticipate they all would with the pedigree they've got anyway, but he's really expanding his middle and consuming some feed and converting. And because of that, he's already starting to get some advancement of muscle down his top and turn of body. Big hipped kind of a hog. It's got a little more explosiveness and muscle behind than a few of those other ones we've looked at. So, if that style and feeding style suits you better, he is definitely one to be considered because he's of the same quality. He's a proportion the same, good-looking, long-fronted, boxy-bodied, a really good turn of center, square built behind with good flexibility off of both ends and the right kind of bone work and joints. That one there is 39-5.
39.9's next, and going to see some of these small pigs. And, I talked about how our sales schedule is going to work, and why we're selling these small ones. I think, as we talk about doing these videos, we're a little over a week away from sale. These pigs in a week's time, I think, are really going to get after it. This 39.9 is a Forever Absolute, and then after that's, quite frankly, his mom. So the mother of these is the mother of the 31s this time last year, which would have been Draw the Line, Full Faith, and the pig that won our Youth Expo. Then we had a repeat mating this spring that would have been the 50s, that those gilts got good homes, and a boar that went to Iowa there. Again, these pigs aren't real big, but I think there is a lot of quality here in this 39.9 in particular. His mom is one of our true key foundation sows, and then it sounds like Forever is going to do an awesome job. This pig's got a slick look. He's got big limbs and got the right kind of running gear. Again, these pigs aren't big on pounds, but I think are going to be real big on quality.
Yeah, he's not very big, but there's not a lot of guesswork there either. That pig hits me very good, and again, I realize he's just an off-belt pig, but even everything strikes him at the right places where it's a distinct kind of a color pattern with that black leg on that one side. And again, I know I mentioned on half a dozen of them, pound for pound where they're at on bone. That's one of the real heavy structured ones for his size that we're looking at. That's a big set of bones below the body line to match what we're seeing up high. Good looking. Neat jawline, elevated, short, boxy-bodied, and then square in his build. Good turn of center already with some rib shape and body shape. Greener muscle pattern than he needs to be at this particular stage. They don't need to be bunchy and bulky at this particular stage to be a real easy feeder. That one I think has got a lot of upside. Figure out where the actual end point, I don't know where that's at, but that's a long ways away where he could finish up and kind of top out in the end where he needs to. Very intriguing kind of pig with a really interesting kind of a pedigree. That one there is 39-9.
40-2 here, Dog Eat Dog promotion. Good young sow would be his mother, and you're going to see these 39s and 40s and some of these smaller pigs. Man, they're out of some of our best young sows. This one of the 40s, I think you could make the argument he's maybe a little bigger outlined. And again, we're speculating a lot because these are small pigs, but This one is just so loose built and so comfortable, and still comes with the extras in terms of bone and feature. He's got a beautiful look in terms of his head and neck. And again, the dog eat dog thing where it's been good has been absolutely phenomenal. And again, I love the sow that this pig's out of. I think that's one that you could be really happy with here in a couple weeks, and then on into the winter and show season as you go along. He does, again, in his pig ear there, he's got a little cauliflower ear. Just want to be transparent, and honestly, it looks like it's kind of healed up, and he still gets it pinned back there, so I don't think it's going to be any issue.
Yeah, the whole ear deal. I mean, he's got a little bit of fluid left in it, and that will leave on its own. Just leave it alone, and it'll draw back up to where that ear will pop back up and won't flop on him. So just kind of disregard that, but just it'll have just a little crink. But this one, again of the 39s and 40s, that size and age of what we got here is probably just a shot more advanced. So you kind of speculate some of the things that are beginning in him that are going to continue in the mates. He's got just a little more punch to him there today, but still that same kind of proportion and build, length of front, stoutness of skull, heaviness of bone, flexibility and reach and angle and set off of both ends is real good. Still able to flex that hind leg the way it needs to. Again, disproportionately heavy structured. All those little pigs are really heavy boned. In a good way. They're not round in their bone or coarse in their joints. Everything looks like it fits really well. But he's starting to get just a little more turn to his center, a little more pop to his top, a little more stifle shape yet. So you kind of see what all those things are going to do. If that one kind of suits you feeding-wise, he's of the same caliber and same quality that the rest of those little ones that we've been looking at. A very, very consistent high-end group of males. That one there is 40-2.
40-4 pig with a little bit of a cauliflower ear here. Pedigree would be Dog Eat Dog, back on a young promotion sow that she's actually promotion FAFO Pace Cars mom. So goes back to that lineage there that's been so prominent in what we've done here the last couple years. This Dog Eat Dog thing, man, when it clicks, it's been off the charts good. And of the 40s, this is just maybe one of the greener, skinnier ones, but I think that's certainly okay at this stage of the game, especially knowing the pedigree behind him on the south side. A pig that's short-bodied, tall-fronted, and short-backed looking, and then one that's just so loose-made. And if you're concerned about muscle or bulk, don't be, because it's in his pedigree and he's going to come with it. Again, that's a pig that's got a little cauliflower ear. I think it just adds to his character and gives you an ID point. I think, again, there's some speculation here because these things are pretty small as we video them, but that looks like a pig that just could feed and be an absolute monster when he gets big, knowing how he's bred and what that sow line's done in the past.
Well, if I remember right, that goes back to an 8-liter sow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be his grandma.
I remember how stout those were, and that we showed one of them was Granite, Ohio. They're good pedigree, and they're good sows, and the predictability is there. Dog thing has been extremely good. That one's running gear is awesome. Again, so comfortable getting his head above his spine, levels out in his design, and reaches off of both ends with a really athletic kind of a hind leg, and greener pattern. And truthfully, with the pedigree he's got, I think it's good that he is that way. And he'll just bulk up and get more power and punch and pop as he goes with that particular pedigree. That ear will go ahead and go down, and it'll be just kind of a standard crinkle ear. Won't be a real big issue. It flops a little there today because it's got fluid in it. That goes away on its own. But during their guarantee it, 99.9% of them do that, and I think that's what's going to happen with him. But you like a good running gear one that's got a good pedigree that you should be able to build upon as far as the stoutness is going to come. That could be a very good option for you to buy. That's 40-4.
Little pig here, 40-7, Dog Eat Dog, promotion, FAFO, and then after that, Pace Cars mom. So it goes back to an 8-liter sow, and this promotion sow, the 70-liter sow, sold a couple of those in the sow sale as open gilts last summer that DJ Sanders bought, and sounds like his are going to do a real good job, and we're pumped up with ours. Again, just early June pigs here, and we're videoing them mid-July, so just young pigs, but the way our sale schedule is going to work, just thought we wanted to try to roll these into this sale. This is a pig that I've kind of been watching in the nursery. Very unique kind of color pattern and look and presence. Looks like he's going to have extra feature. Again, there's some guesswork here, but could be one of those situations where it could be a little high risk, but could also be very, very high reward. Again, if you're looking for a Phoenix barrel, that's not him. And honestly, I don't know where to tell you that pig's endpoint is quite yet at this stage of the game. But wherever it is, I think that's a pig that man could get really, really good. I've got faith in the sow. I've got faith in the way he's bred, and he's got all the indicators of a very high level kind of a show barrel.
Yeah, a high-end prospect. Again, he's not very big on pounds. Obviously, he's one of the smaller ones we've looked at. But when you're going to talk about power in the blood and knowing what's in those sow lines, I mean, it's in there, and it's packed in there a big-time way, generation after generation. And then when you look at the pig and you don't say, well, I wish he was this or I wish he was that. No, you don't have to grant anything about him. He's a awesome skull with a great kind of look out of his front end. Very cocky looking, shorter, boxier length of body. Very square in his build. Really neat kind of a color pattern, and then you're not going to have to guess whether that one's going to be heavy structured, going to be good looking, and going to have a turn of body and muscle shape. I mean, you can see everything beginning to build. And truthfully, if it was building any faster than that, I probably wouldn't be very high on him. I think the maturity for where he's at on pounds, again, which is not very much, that's your upside of what you can get accomplished there. You could come out looking really, really smart buying one like that. That's 40-7.
40-8, the off-belted I guess they're both off-belts, but the one that's got less white on him here, pedigree would be Dog Eat Dog promotion, and I like this pig a lot. I know they're tiny, but that is a short-bodied pig that has a long neck, a long hip, and I guess if you wanted me to tell you what I envision a championship caliber show barrel looking like at this stage of the game, that pig's got the right pieces. Obviously, there's a lot of guesswork. There's a lot of time to go. If you're looking for a Phoenix barrel, that's not the pig you need. If you want to put one in feed that has got a big show window and a very high ceiling, that pig does a lot of things right for me.
Yeah, another extremely neat pig, again, that you gravitate to because of his proportions and his eye appeal. Again, one that can crank his head above his spine and be very comfortable with it. He's very short in his body, but still long-fronted and long-hipped. Again, for where he's at on his pounds, which isn't very much right now. He's not very big, but man, he's heavy-structured. And really, he's green and skinny like he needs to be at this particular size. They don't need to be round and bulky and everything kind of in place. These kind you can, again, just feed on. And, again, whether you're a novice or an expert at doing the feed bucket deal, just feed them, give them the right goodies with some protein in it, to let them go ahead and start building and massing, and then look at the pig every week and see which way you need to go. Because when they're correct like this and they're proportioned like this, upside on feedability over the long haul is a whole lot more enjoyable, a lot of fun, because those generally get better each and every week of their life. That one is 40-8.
40-10 is the small pig in here, and obviously these probably aren't quite sale ready yet, but with the way we decided we're going to kind of do things here in the early part of summer, and not make any of the sales down south until August, it just made sense to get these into that into this particular sale. His pedigree's Dog Eat Dog. His mom is a promotion FAFO. and she had her first litter in the spring there, and man, those pigs were good, and sounds like they're feeding good. I think if you dive into this pig and just try to give him an honest appraisal, he looks like he is stout featured and got bone and feature. I love his mom, love the way his the pigs are feeding out of that sow. Obviously, there's some guesswork here because this pig's he's not very big. He's maybe a 15-pounder when we video these things, but I love that sow. And I think this pig has got sure got a chance to feed and get good. I do think he's a pig that it's going to take a minute. He's not one you're ever going to want to push on real hard, but that pig's got some extras, and one that I think could be good there when it matters in the end.
Yeah, again, when you buy from a program and they've got these sows lined up and you kind of know what to expect out of those sow lines, and then you get some repeat matings or out of the same, that's where, your speculation or your wonder of when they're this little, what they're going to be, that's where you can rely on the breeder and know that they've got things under control about what needs to happen. And that's kind of this pig. He's not very big on pounds, but it's still with that kind of indicator of skull shape and boxiness, length of body. He's heavy structured. He's got bolts of hip. He's got turn of center. And again, you're going to have to wait a little while until you see everything comes into play. But again, pound for pound, one of the real heavy bone ones at this particular size, and still clean in his joints and strong in his pasture, and just a good solid individual that, again, kind of pace him. He won't be on your short list, but he'll be one that, again, those kind you can, if you forget about them at sale time, those kind can come back to bite you in the end because they go ahead and continue, just like the breeder says, 40-10.
42-4, the pig with a little white on his tail here would be a draw the line then and now, and I guess you could call that sow in the sophomore class. They're coming through with her second litter, and man, she sure looks like she's going to be one to work with. She is as stout and heavy boned as any of those young sows there that just are having had their second litter, and I think you can see that in this pig. He's the one that's got extra feature and fuzz, and I would sure bet that this is going to be a heavy boned one. Obviously, he's a big rib, big centered looking kind of a pig. Again, some guesswork here with size, but for a little pig, this one hits me and does so pretty hard. I think a big window in terms of him being a show barrel, but again, I know they're tiny, but I think that's one that if you're looking to lay in a boar, that's one that you could maybe potentially look pretty smart here in a few weeks if you get that one bought, because I think he's got some outlying pieces.
Yeah, he's probably one of the denser, more pliable ones of these smallest pigs that we've looked at. Man, his stoutness of skull and neat kind of a look out of his front end is really good. Pound for pound, again, extremely heavy structured. He's very good as far as that. The bone size from his body line down, almost disproportionately heavy, and which is good because his joints are still clean. His bones are not round; they're just big. His center is very good. He's starting to get more advanced as far as pliability of rib and turn to his rib and center body. He's very square in his hip and still immature in his muscle shape, but it's there. All the indicators are going to tell you that one's going to be bold, stout, boxy built, and good looking. Again, a lot of the guesswork is gone, even though they're little, because of how that sow line always lines up and seems to get the job done. That one there is 42-4.
Well, believe it or not, but pig sale season is here again. Whether you're ready or not, seems like we just finished up selling these things a few weeks ago, and here we are again. But certainly excited about the set of pigs that we've got to offer, and we're doing things a little different here in summer as the kids have gotten into more things, and it just seems like July is about the busiest month on a pig farm anymore with still fair on some sows, breeding sows, and all that other stuff going on. We decided we're going to skip all the consignment sales here in July. Those have been awfully good to us in the past, and we plan on those being a big part of things going forward. As we get into August, certainly have plans of making some of those sales in Texas that have been so good to us in the past. But with the schedule and everything going on here in July, we're going to sell our entire May crop and the very front end of those early Junes. We're going to sell those male pigs. Will all be in this particular sale. So, as I alluded to, those sales have been awesome. We love them, and but if you want a May or early June pig from Hilty Showpigs, this particular live sale on a Tuesday night is going to be your opportunity to get one of those. I think some of our very best sows are represented in this group, and we reached out and used the boars that we thought complemented them the best. And it's kind of cliche that people say, this is the best set ever or deepest group ever, but I truly do believe that we called these things down hard, and we're right around that 60 number for this particular sale. And again, some of our very best sows are represented. I think there's a little something for everybody in here, whether you need a Phoenix barrow or you need a barrow that could wind up at one of those shows in the spring. I think there's a wide variety of endpoints here, and without a doubt, I think there's certainly some very high-end boar prospects, as we've done over the last couple seasons, couple years here, and several seasons, I guess now. We've got Jim McCoy here with us again today, and pumped up to get Jim's thoughts on this set of pigs. If you've got any questions at all, or we can be of any assistance, myself, Grant, Jim, reach out. Again, it's a live sale on Kennedy Venture CCI on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We'd love to see you here at the farm to see the pigs in person. If that doesn't work out, reach out to one of us with any questions you might have.
Well, it's good to be back here in Pennsylvania with Will and the whole crew, and always thoroughly enjoy it. And it's always exciting to see what he's put together and the new matings that are coming out, and some of the young boars he's put back through on some of the proven sows that he's got. This truly has become a business that never sleeps, and everybody says, well, what's it? You're gonna have a little downtime now. No, there is no downtime anymore. It's where it's piled on top of each other. But you know what? This family never sleeps in this business. I mean, they're continuously working hard to make them better every time, and I think they've done it again this time. Looking through the set of pigs and loving some of the matings they're put together. We've got a really good set. They're all males and all crosses, and traditionally always a bunch of the good belted ones and dark crosses. But look in on some of these light crosses. There's a very, very good set of those, and a very high-end quality that, again, I think can really do some damage there in the show season right on through the spring. Multiple sizes, as Will had mentioned, it can show early. Several of them are going to be able to show late, and I really don't know where the end point is on some of them, because you're going to be able to stretch some of these June pigs right on down about as far as you want to go for a show that's scheduled. Quality is extremely high. A lot of different pedigrees represented, boar prospects. Again, if we can be of any assistance to help you out at all, don't hesitate to ask.